So, like I said, my name's Carly Sullivan. I'm a diamond coach and Success Club 5 All Star legend, actually. 24 months as of December. Um, and I've been a coach on the team for a little over 2 years now. I signed up in January of 2014. And that was after doing the T25 challenge with Amy. I met Amy through, with Kate. You guys know Kate Davies. She and I used to work together, and she found Amy on Instagram and connected with her and told me she was going to go over to Amy's. Yeah, we do still work together. That she was going to go over to Amy's and work out in her garage and asked if I wanted to come. And honestly, that day I was kind of feeling like crap. I didn't really want to go and work out, but I was a little worried about my friend getting murdered by some stranger in her garage. So I decided to go along with her, and it's just so funny to think that like that decision and the fact that I went that day has completely changed the path of my life because, I got to meet Amy, we got to work out, we got to try Shakeology. Kate and I both signed up for her T25 challenge group, and it was just such an amazing experience to be a part of that community and to have a coach watching my back, making sure I was staying accountable and doing my workouts. And it was the first time, I'm sure all of you guys have similar experiences of trying to stick to workout programs and diets and things like that, and just not being able to stick it out for various reasons. And just having that support, I was able to finish my program from start to finish, and I was a believer in these products and this community and what it all meant. So when I signed up for P90X3 that December when it came out, and Amy approached me about coaching, and I was one of those people who was like, no, I'll wait. I don't have a good enough transformation yet. I'm wasn't consistent with my Shakeology yet, so I wanted to make sure I really loved it before I started talking about it more, and kind of made those excuses. But Kate actually signed up at the same time because Amy talked to both of us about it, and I saw her doing it, and I saw her talking about coaching and the team, and I was like, gosh, darn it, I need to do this. Because at the time, like I said, we were working together at a bake shop. I was a pastry chef at the time, and I really thought that was going to be my career for life. I graduated from college with a degree in creative writing and had no idea what I was going to do with myself. So I ended up going to culinary school because I love to cook and bake, and I loved culinary school, and I moved down to Portland for this job at this pastry shop. And I loved it at first, and then I really hated it. My boss was not a great person to work for. Yeah, Kate says it right there. She was just not ever very grateful or positive. I got berated for not working harder, even though I was working overtime hours and not being paid. Just all sorts of things that it just took the love out of the job, and I had become so miserable, and literally thankfully I'd made a bunch of amazing friends from my coworkers, but anytime we hung out outside of work, we literally spent the entire time bitching about work. And it's just such a horrible way, you're spending your whole day at work where you hate it, and then you come home and spend your free time not at work bitching about work, where it's just that's your whole life, and it's so negative, and it's just sucking all of the positivity out of you. And it's not a great place to be. So when I found out about coaching, and I saw Amy because I was following her, I saw what she was doing with this opportunity, and I was really loving getting healthier. I'd been eating paleo for over a year at this point, and loved nutrition and all of that, and having this opportunity to just pursue it. And Amy just showed me that I could make this my job, and I didn't have to work for somebody else if I did this. That is what intrigued me. I was sick of working for somebody else's dream, missing holidays with my family and time with my friends because I needed to work weekends and holidays. It just sucks. I'm sure so many of you know what that's like. So I decided to go for it, and signed up in January, and it's been an incredible experience. But, I'm going to talk to you more about all the ups and downs that have been involved in that process and why I'm still here 2 years later. I wanted to start off by talking about the Success Club trip because I know it's fresh on our minds. I signed up for the 2014 trip to Cancun literally 1 week after I signed up to be a coach. I went to Super Saturday and they talked about where it was going to be, and the sign up was that next Monday or something. And I was on there right at the time, right there, ready on my computer, like you guys are familiar with, to get my spot on that trip because travel is a big thing for me, and seeing that I could earn a free trip to Cancun was the best, biggest motivation for me. And that's honestly why I think I made Success Club a non-negotiable for myself. We hear it all the time, Success Club needs to happen, you need to make it a non-negotiable, no excuses, get it done every single month. But having that trip as my motivator and sort of I wanted to hit those trip dollars and earn my trip for free, and I knew how many Success Club points I was going to take to do that, and that I had to hit Success Club to get the 10 trip dollars versus just 5 if I didn't hit Success Club. I wanted to maximize that, and I wanted this free trip. So I made sure to make it happen and hit Success Club every single month in my first year. And I will tell you, it wasn't always easy. There are those months where I'd get Success Club 14, and then come fall of my first year was the hardest time. September, October, November, I could not get people to sign up. I felt like I was pulling teeth. It was so hard. I had to get my sister to buy a challenge pack, do things like that just to make it happen and pull it out, because I told myself no matter what, I was going to earn this trip. So if you guys are not signed up for the trip to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, I know there's a waiting list that happened almost instantly, but if you're not on the list, make sure that you get on it right away. I don't care if you're a brand new coach and you don't know what this business is about. I had no idea what I was doing when I signed up, and it's actually really funny because I'm getting my time hop posts from 2 years ago this time when I was a brand new coach, and it's the 21-day fix icon. It's sign up with my link below it. That's just I see it and cringe. But it's you figure things out with this business. You just have to do trial and error, and you learn that that's not the best method. But we've all been there. I know a lot of us have. If you started off the gate knowing what to do with your social media, that's awesome. I was somebody that wasn't using Facebook pretty much at all when I signed up to be a coach. So having me all of a sudden splashing around that I was a Beachbody coach, people were like, what the heck is going on with Carly? Where did she come from and what is she doing? But, that didn't hold me back. That wasn't a reason to not succeed at this. I saw this vision and I set these goals for myself and I made them happen. And, there's going to be road bumps. In August of my first year, I was diagnosed with adrenal fatigue, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but basically it's your flight or fight response. If it gets too burnt out because you're too stressed, you stop producing cortisol, which is that hormone that gets you up in the morning and gives you energy. And so basically I wasn't making that anymore, and so it was just this exhaustion all the time. I was still at work at this point at the bake shop, and I would just at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I just have to go sit in the office for 10 minutes every half an hour or so because I was so tired. And I wasn't really supposed to work out, and here I am. I'm a health and fitness coach. I have adrenal fatigue. I'm exhausted. I'm not really supposed to do exercise. How am I supposed to make this business work? But you have to just be when those things happen, we all have our health problems, we have personal problems, relationship issues, things that go on. That's what you need to be talking about with people and showing people that you're real and you're still getting through it. Even though you're struggling, you're not stopping. It's not a reason to give up. And there were times that I would sit on the couch and I was just I can't do anything. I'm depressed. Like, I was so tempted to just check out. But like I said, I had given myself these goals, and I wasn't going to have spent the first 8 months of the year working my ass off, only to have this little road bump decide my whole life and just like throw my hands up and be like, I can't get past this. So I was lucky that PIO came out that July, so I kind of started getting into the PIO and talking about, my low impact workouts that I could do with my fatigue, and just like being kind to my body and forgiving of myself. You don't have to be perfect, and for those of you that haven't had like a huge body transformation, like, I don't have this amazing before and after. I'm still 2 years into the business, and for various health reasons haven't had like this huge physical transformation. And that's no reason for you to not be successful with this. Like, you don't have to shrink down to this, fit, svelte person. Like, that's, coaches come in every shape and size, and it's about so much more than the physical journey. And for me, because like my size hasn't changed that much, I talk about how much my strength has improved, how I love being fit and strong, how much I love taking care of myself and eating right, the confidence and all these other like emotional aspects that I've gained from coaching. Like, those are the things for me that keep me here. It's not about losing weight. It's not about like, oh, I lost 50 pounds. It's about this community, like this team that we're a part of. Like, if I didn't have coaching when I had that adrenal fatigue and like was going through that hard time, if I didn't have the team, like, I'm sure I would have gotten really depressed and down on myself, because like, it just would have been me, like, yeah, I've got my friends and my family, but I'm sitting at home like thinking about this, versus the team like plugging into you guys, like having that motivation of everybody, and like seeing all these different stories and how people are going through it. Like, you need to use that. Like, if you're having a hard time, that's when you need to plug into the team and plug into Team Beachbody and like everything that we represent, because it's not just about physical transformation. It's not just about getting thin. Like, it's about being healthy and well in every aspect. That's why personal development is one of our vital behaviors, because having a strong mind is important too. And so, like I said, I have had plenty of times when it would have been really easy to quit. Amy brought up to me today when we were chatting about how, I ended up quitting the bake shop at the end of October in my first year of coaching, so about 10 months in. That was the goal date I'd set for myself, because I refused to go through another holiday season working there. If you've worked retail or restaurants or anything like that, like, it was like cranking out hundreds upon hundreds of pies and cinnamon rolls and working into the wee hours of the night. And I was just like, the Christmas before that, I had to go home to Seattle on Christmas Eve, like on that day, to spend basically 36 hours with my family for Christmas before I had to come back and work at the shop. And I remember getting home on Christmas Eve and just crying, because I was just so upset for like how much work I'd put in at this bakery, and that I had to like didn't even have time to spend with my family, and I was just so exhausted and stressed out. So when I started coaching, I was like, I am not spending another holiday season at this bake shop. So I quit at the end of October, which was so liberating. But as some coaches will know that have done this, where you go full time, it's not an excuse to like spend less time on your business and like to just have fun because you have all the free time. And I remember probably a few months into being a full-time coach, I was like getting a little nervous, because I wasn't quite making the income that I wanted to be making to support myself. Like, I'd done the smart thing where I'd been saving all my Beachbody checks until I quit, so that I had some fallback, for that. Like, I had a cushion. But it definitely made me nervous. And I remember talking to Amy about that at one point, and just mentioning that I might have to get a part-time job again. And honestly, as soon as I thought about that, like, it was the worst feeling, because the whole point of me becoming a coach was to have freedom and not have someone tell my schedule to me. And so the idea of not being able to, like, set my own schedule again and having someone, like, I'd probably have to work, like, weekends and evenings was just like, no, that wasn't why I did this. So, if things get hard, like, that's your motivation to just keep plugging away at it and keep going. I tell my team, like, I have the thought of quitting, like, spring into my head, like, probably, like, once a week. Like, it just happens where I'm like, this is hard. This is hard sometimes. Like, we all have our rough weeks, like, where things just, like, you feel like you're doing the work and you're not getting, like, Success Club points and things like that, and you're just like, is this right? Like, is this what I should be doing? Maybe I should go back to, like, a more steady, reliable job. And then as soon as that thought crosses my mind of, like, going to work somewhere else, I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, I can't, not doing that. Like, I have my freedom. I've tasted it. Like, this is it for me. I refuse to work for somebody else and for their dream and on their time and to make sacrifices on my, like, personal life for them. Like, no more. So, like, anytime you have that thought where you think this is too hard, just remember why you signed up. Like, I don't know what you have to do to, like, put it on your wall and the background on your phone, or, like, make a recording of yourself explaining, like, why this matters to you, that you can play it to yourself, something that's just going to drive that into you in those times where it gets rough, because they happen, But I made a post yesterday about my income, and, like, maybe it's not where I thought it would be. Like, I'm not a 6-figure earner yet. I'm 2 years into the business, and I could easily compare myself to other coaches who have, gotten really successful really quickly. You think about, like, Bonnie Engel, who, a year and a half into coaching is finished in the top 10. But it's okay if that's not you. And the fact that I more than doubled my income from my first year, that's huge. Like, it might not be millions, it might not be hundreds of thousands, but I doubled my income, more than that. So, like, if you continue on that path, which all comes down to just being consistent and sticking this out, if you continue to do that, just think of where you'll be in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years. Like, is it worth the work to do that? Absolutely. Like, it's worth it. Like, anytime I think about the alternative, it's hard work to do something you don't love. It's hard going into a job that makes you miserable. Like, that's hard. And think about doing that for the next 20, 25 years of your life until maybe you get to retire. Like, who knows, right? Like, this is it. So whatever you need to do to, like, nail that down in your subconscious, that, like, this is it and it's worth the work. And, like, 2 weeks ago, midway through January, here I am thinking, 2 years into being a coach, it's January, it's resolution season, and I have no Success Club points on the board. And it's, like, January 20th, and I've been working hard, I've been putting in work all week, and I'm like, holy crap, like, what is happening? And I spent, like, a night on the couch, like, a couple weekends ago, just, like, feeling really down on myself because it wasn't happening. And my poor boyfriend's just, like, so sweet. He's like, you're gonna make it happen. You always make it happen. Like, and, but I'm just feeling really, like, discouraged. And then what do you know? Like, hours later, I get a message on Facebook from someone that they are ready to sign up, or that they had actually, like, gone and bought their challenge pack, and boom, I had 2 Success Club points. And I knocked out Success Club and got those points done in, like, 5 days in the end of the week, or the end of the month. Like, it happened because I didn't stop. Like, I could have given up at that point and just said, like, this is it. Like, I can't do this. It's the 20th and I don't have anybody buying anything and I don't have Success Club. It's just not going to happen. But I didn't stop and I made it happen. So it's just those moments where you need to decide, thank you, where you just need to decide that, like, no, I'm not going to stop. So that's sort of my lesson for you guys tonight, is to just never stop. even when things get hard, because they will, and there's always this learning curve with this business. There's always new things that you have to catch up on. Your business is going to change and grow and transform as you build it, because it becomes something different. You start off just like worrying about Success Club and your challenge groups, and then you start building a team, and then you have to train your team and like take care of it, and it changes, and it's really cool and exciting to see that happen. So just embrace the changes and be open-minded, willing to learn and try new things. Like right now, I haven't been able to drink Shakeology for like 3 months, because now, it seems to be this like once a year thing. I had SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which means that I can't eat like very normal foods to like clear it up. Things like onions and sweet potatoes and avocado, like really normal healthy foods. So I couldn't have Shakeology just because of some of the ingredients in it. And again, I'm not using that as an excuse not to work my business, or to say like I can't be successful at selling Shakeology because I can't drink Shakeology. No, I drank Shakeology for 1.5 years, and I love it, and it's an amazing product. And just because right now in this point in time that I can't have it, doesn't mean like I can't talk about it and all the awesome things like that it's done for everyone on our team and our challenge groups. So you have to just learn to turn those things into lessons, and just keep moving forward. And you might have to like adapt the way you approach things, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. So that's sort of what I had for you guys tonight. I don't know if you guys have any questions. It's really weird that I can't like see your faces. I'm just like talking to myself in here. But I saw your nice comments down there, so thank you. Anything else, you guys? Get on the Success Club waitlist if you're not, because it's worth it. And pretend in your head, like put it on your vision board and tell yourself you're going on the trip, and earn the points that you need. You're all saying like, oh, you're so sweet, Ashley. Thank you. Amy told me to speak from the heart and not use my brain too much. I'm a very emerald personality, so I can be very like cut and dry and facts and figures oriented, but like I love this community. And like I said, anytime I think about quitting, I just remember like I had this moment where I was like, I'm gonna quit, and then I was like, I wouldn't be able to go to Summit. And I was like, oh my god, I wouldn't be able to go to Summit. Like, so that stuff's so much fun. Like, the events and everything are so much fun. Like, if you're not planning to go to Summit yet, make it happen, because, like, Nashville and being around all those coaches and the energy of it all is just so amazing. And, like, thinking of that I would have to miss Summit if I quit coaching was like, no, I have to keep doing this. I need to be there with my team, and I've worked so hard, so... Oh, thank you so much, guys. I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, we all go through hard times, and we just have to power through, and we've got such an amazing resource here with all of you guys, so. Social media for me, I mean, it's been sort of a blend of Facebook and Instagram. Both, honestly, I use both, and I just kind of use the same content on both. I think Instagram is a good place to put your focus personally, because I really like that you're connecting with people that like want to see what you're posting and have things in common with you, and you can really connect with people that are your vibe, and your vibe attracts your tribe. So I think I prefer Instagram. But transitioning from Instagram to Facebook, so if I've been interacting with someone for a little while on Instagram, like we comment on each other's posts, or they follow me or something, like I'll just send them a message that's just like, hey, are you on Facebook? I'd love to chat with you more over there, and like put my link in the comment and leave it at that. Like if you've had like a good interaction with them, I always have people that are like, yeah, and then it's easier to chat with people on Facebook. Like I like Instagram to start, and then I usually transition people to Facebook so you can actually talk better. Participations in challenge groups. I used to do the point system, and then I stopped, and we haven't done it for like 4 or 5 months, and we just re-implemented it this month in our challenge group, and it's going really well. So I think the points and stuff can be really good. I think it's, sometimes it just depends who's in your challenge that month. I think that challengers really feed off of each other, and if like one or two of them are really excited, it gets the rest of them excited. But definitely make sure that you are like doing the daily posts too. Like for our challenge group this month, we're kind of doing like Amanda Rakowski and Jennifer Bush talked about this, where they're doing their points, where it's like you get points for posting a picture of your Shakeology and points for a picture of your food or a recipe. And so make sure you're doing those too. Like even though you're not earning points, like you need to be participating and be a challenger in your challenge groups. I think that that's really important. Any other questions, guys? You're welcome. Well, this was great. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I was nervous. Yeah, that's another thing, guys. Like, I used to be, like, the super shy, quiet introvert that, like, didn't know how to socialize or talk to people. And I had to come out of my shell so much to make this business work, because I had to, like, reach out to people and share my personality and stuff like that. And so I think that's just, like, one of the best things about this business is that I've grown so much, and I'm so much more confident, and things like this, like, I never really thought I would have done. So, yeah, alright, guys. Well, favorite PD book? I mean, I'll be, like, really cliche and say You Are a Badass. I'm doing a lot of podcasts now. You guys are amazing. Did I find it hard to recruit coaches once you quit your job? No. I mean, honestly, for me, the big turning point with me, it took me over a year to get to Diamond. And the big turning point for me was going to that trip in Cancun and like seeing all these other coaches and hearing their stories and realizing like they weren't any different from me. And that just really lit something in me. And I think people seeing me on that trip really inspired people too. So that's when I really started building my team, was after the first Success Club trip. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know where you're starting from, Nicole, but like I always just talk about like I built my business when I was still working at the bake shop, and just like, on my lunch breaks, on my water breaks, on my bathroom breaks, like when I got home in the evenings, like I didn't have a ton of time to do it. So you just have to, if the example doesn't apply to you, like talk about people on the team, because we have so many different people from different backgrounds, so you can always have a story from someone on the team to kind of back up what you're talking about. Amy started coaching when she was working and interning and going to school, so yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, if that is all, thank you so much for being on here. You guys are all awesome. I love you. And have a great Thursday. Thank you.